welcome to the Texas Asian Cultures Museum. You here to see the museum? Cool. You been here before? Cool. Well, we'll give you a quick tour. Short version of the story, short version, is the whole place was founded by one lady back in the 70s mainly, although she was in Japan for about 20 years beforehand. That's her right up in that painting. Her name was Billy Chandler, and she's been about 17 years on and off in Japan, traveling, researching, commissioning artifacts, collecting artifacts, all kinds of stuff. Most of what we've got here, the heart and core of our collection is her stuff originally. You'll see a lot of that as you go across the floor. In fact, Nick here will show you a lot of that if you guys want. You want that? Cool. Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I can show you around. Come with me. We'll go on an adventure together here. So we're going to start in the main wing, which is primarily the Japanese wing. It has a lot of different aspects to it. We'll go over them right now. So right here is our Thailand display. Very intricate. Right now we have the wooden elephants. Cool thing about elephants though, whether they be from Asia or Africa, if you actually have a statue of an elephant with its trunk up, it's meant to bring you good luck and prosperity, good fortune. So that's the whole thing around elephant statues and stuff. In here we have our hand-carved ivory. This is a puzzle piece, cigarette holder, clam, what looks like an incense burner, is an incense burner. Ivory is very well sought after just because of the way it looks, its cleanliness, its shininess, the way it just has no impurities. Back then, it was so much sought after that it actually almost took the Asian elephant on the brink of extinction. So when that happened, they decided to implement new tactics to save the population. They actually started using imported Russian mammoth tusks for a lot of things like this. And in a lot of places there are a lot of restrictions on ivory. So even here in the United States, there's things like that. Here we have some Buddha statues, some other stuff from Thailand. Thailand is a ported area just because of its location to the sea. We have here a diagram showing how they would live, especially in the water areas, the fishing villages, things like that. They're built high up since Thailand lives on water in case of high flooding from the rains, monsoons, and that way their actual house does not get flooded. So you can actually walk out to a lake right in front of your feet. We'll continue on to the middle, which is pretty much the other part of the Japanese exhibit. Here are our kimonos. These are hand-woven, hand-printed cloth material used for thousands of years in Japan. These are actually been donated to us by a lady we had commissioned to make them. Kimonos come in all shapes, designs, colors, whatever you want. However, a lot of them are used for ceremonial display, decorative displays, any occasion that you want. A lot of them were day-to-day use, so those would probably just be like a single color, single pattern, not too much intricate into them. We'll come over here to the Filipino display. This display has actually been redone by Richard and I. We've taken some stuff out and we've put in a little bit more, rearranged some items. These are ebony wood carved figurines. Here we have a bamboo carved hut. Up there we have a battle axe. If you can look closely, you'll see that the metal part actually has indents, which means it was probably used at some point. Down there we have a necklace of boar tusks. Boar in the Philippines, pretty much like here, are sought after because of the meat, the hide, the tusks, you know, it can be used for different things, tools and stuff like that. We have a jumbo knife, so it's pretty cool. Some fisherman's hat, scary looking mask. We have some of these battle shields that are used in the Philippines since the were warring tribes. This was something you'd see in battle. Coming over here will be primarily our calligraphy exhibit display, but also we have our Japanese masks. These are used for theater. Japanese love theater just as much as the Greeks and Romans and pretty much everyone else does. A lot of them are scary looking, demons. So there's a lot of folk tales depicting Japanese demons and everything. And yeah, so all of these were used. It was pretty cool. Here's our calligraphy table. So we usually have some bowls of water out. These are water-based paper. We have some all around for everyone. And just with those brushes over there, you can use them, dip your brush in water, and then just draw the different designs. We have some that means different ones, letters, numbers. We have ones that means the elements. It's pretty cool. You can find out how your name would look like in Japanese. It's very interesting. So inside these display cases here, and on this back wall back here, these are all of our Hakata dolls. Well, not all. Some of them on display. Hakata dolls are from Japan. They date back about thousands of years. Or actually, 17th century. Look like they would be thousands of years old. These are handmade clay dolls. What's real cool is their shaping, the way you would heat them up and get them to the shape you need. And then when they're dried, you can paint them. These painting marks are done post-dry. Once the figurine is completely dried, the artist will go in and paint these by hand with the brush. The technique you need to paint on curved objects to get the expressions and everything else is just completely mind-blowing. Each one can tell a story. You have different ones that mean different things. You have the fishermen, peasants, children, geishas, royalty, even the samurai that we have here on display. You know, the different clan markings, their swords. It's phenomenal. It's crazy. It's pretty cool. We're gonna make our way this way towards the other end. Here is our rotating display. Right now we have the Russo-Japanese War painting. This is actually the painting depicting one of the first battles of the Russo-Japanese War. We are going to be putting out a lot more rotating painting displays and figurine displays here as well. Back here is just another, these are not Hakata actually, but they are Japanese figurines. This is samurai, and with his servants, his vassals type of thing. When you look out here, you can see our courtyard, our Japanese samurai statues. We have our bamboo trees back there. The courtyard's primarily used just for when we have large event festivities. And we do like to go out there sometimes to just take in the sun, the breeze. There's a couple of benches we have out here. It's cool for meditating and just being kind of in a quiet situation. Right here, we're going to be doing a new Bill Chandler watercolor display. When Bill Chandler pretty much retired, she spent majority of the rest of her life doing a lot of watercoloring. She probably did a lot of them while she was actually working too. But she was heavily active after retirement. And this is Kennedy with the sun. We do have a lot more, so we will get to see more of Chandler's work. Here's a small display case of our Japanese temple shrines. These are paper mache. There's different ones. We have more upstairs, so I'll go in more detail in there. And right now we have Richard, who's going to tell you about the Armas Artist.
So this is our display, and this is another thing that we're going to expand on as time goes by, because this is a really crazy story. Her name was Oishi Junkyo. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she was a geisha dancer and artist back in, about the year 1900. She had been sold into a geisha school, as was the way at the time, poor family, and the guy running the school was referred to by all the students as her adopted father. He was apparently very well respected and very well liked at the time, and he was a bit of a party goer. That was about the only thing they didn't like about him in the local village. And he was having trouble with his third wife. He was having trouble in his life. He was having trouble drinking. And he basically went on a rampage one day, got drunk, hit somebody, sobered up, and he killed 5 other people and maimed the artist, Oishi Junkyo. And she ended up losing both arms for injuries. He used, actually, a katana, very similar to this one, which was why it was sharp enough to be able to do those kinds of injuries and her still survive. You can see the blade here. And he ended up turning himself in went to jail, was hung later on, a few months later, didn't take him long, and she relearns how to paint using her mouth. She is incredibly bored and frustrated, sitting there with no arms. She lost them both at the shoulder, basically. She spends the next 20 years of her life relearning how to paint with her mouth, and not only get to where she can paint, but re-achieve mastery and get really good at it. And she eventually goes into the Buddhist monasteries and asks them if they can make her a priest, a monk, and let her take over a corner of a temple and teach students how to paint with disabilities and how to make lives for themselves at a time when there really was no social safety net. And she spends the next 40 years of her life, this is a scrapbook of some of her paintings and artworks. These are her paintings when she re-achieved mastery. She got extremely good when she got back in action, got back to full speed. Took her about 20 years. I mean, it took a while, but she got extremely good once she got there. A friend of hers convinced her so she could get over the trauma of the injury and losing both arms to have a funeral for him. So she had a little tomb. That's her with Chandler and the Hikata doll maker when they were making dolls of her as part of the historical dioramas like Nick was probably talking about. And then this is her giving a lecture to school. That's what she spent about the last 30, 40 years of her life doing, is A, teaching people, and B, going around and being a minor celebrity and teaching folks about her injuries so they could learn to recover themselves. So yeah, any questions? Cool, that's usually a good sign.
All right, thanks, Rich. So we're going to continue on. You can just have another angle of the backyard there. Here we reach our Indian exhibit. Not too much to go on here, but we do have a lot of interesting things, such as, a few of the gods, Shiva, and everything, and some of the clothing, the shoes. We do have a Bollywood Night that we host here during the fall. It's a huge night, very good food. We have the drum team come out, and it's quite a spectacle. It's real fun to look at. But it doesn't have a lot of rich history. So it's pretty cool to learn about and talk about even. Alright, so if you all just follow me real quick, come down this way. This is Lantern Lane. As you can see, white. Very cool stuff. Here's another outlook to our garden area. This is the Korean wing. Excuse me. A lot of stuff in here has been donated by the Korean Association out in Houston. We do have some of our own Korean artifacts. Right now they're not on the floor, they're in our back room for cataloging and processing. So if you look here, some quick cookie molds, very cool designs. This is a Yongsan, which is like, there's basically a small desk to hold ink brushes, ink stones, things of the sort. Very cool books. Real cool porcelain vases. Porcelain, like in China, in Korea, are very sought after because porcelain is white and pure and looks real clean, and you can draw intricate designs on them. These are brass ritual vessels. We also have a red wooden version. Lacquered cabinet, very cool shell design. There's many things in here. You can actually open these doors, they open fully wide, but I don't want to break anything right now. A display case with hats. These are called gats. Everyone pretty much wore them in Korea. They're mainly used for, shade, and just about anyone from, working class people to the nobles, people, from the palace and everything. Over here we have some crowns. These are actually from the Kingdom of Sia. This is gold, like real paper thin, real kind of flimsy. These are the kind of hats that you would see those noblemen, the ones in the council, or even the kings and princes would wear, just on an out and daily basis. Over here we have some of our mannequins displaying what Koreans who were wealthy, basically, these are their South kimonos that they would wear, their dresses and outfits. This is a makeshift throne sitting area for one of the crowns. These are just plastic, really. But these, the way their candies and cookies would come out, the display that they would be in. So it's pretty cool. We actually have our statue of Buddha here. Richard's gonna go into detail a little bit on this and how he actually got to be sitting here.
So this big guy here, he weighs about as much as you think he does. He is solid brass, and he was originally, before this room was constructed, the entranceway over there, they had to move him in on a forklift with several guys babysitting him so he didn't fall off the forklift. Move him all the way in here and then finish building that entrance from Lantern Lane where you guys came in at, because he's that heavy and that wide. He weighs probably about 1,500 pounds. He's pretty solid, and he's pretty much a permanent display here in this corner. So yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Richard.
Anytime, guys.
So we'll come more this way. This our other display cases. We have bloom equipment, incense burner, more little crowns. These are the type of ones that you would see at weddings. Nothing at this point where they're just replica makeshift scales. This piece here, I'm not too sure on the proper name, but you would actually, like that crown I showed you over there has that back piece. That's what holds the crown in, so you just stick it through their hair. Girls have the more decorative ones. If you had ones that were made out of gold or even jade, that meant how much wealth you had. These are some of the shoes. These are the kind of ones that you'd see peasants wear, and those more fancier ones are obviously the ones that nobles and royals would wear. These vases here, real cool designs, future designs. This one here, his epitaph has some pretty cool inscriptions. Not typical Korean you would see, it's more of a archaic, ancient type of Korean. You'd see just mainly banners with some of those. And so it's different from the actual Korean characters you'd see. Smaller incense burner, just more vases, stuff like this. Little turtle guy up there. Here we have a couple of pocket Buddhas. These are basically just portable Buddhas you can take with you and you can pray with them. Real cool chest. I've seen inside of these, they're not really anything, there's nothing inside them right now, but they could be used for a multitude of things. Here we have a bow and arrow set, fans, this wallpaper letter holder you would find in a lot of homes. Pipe, actually a pretty cool pipe. Instruments, you have the gong, drum, zither like string instrument. Chinese also have one similar to this. It's like 12 strings or so, and it's very cool to play. And just, you have more drums and stuff. This drawer here is something you could find at an apothecary. Each one will have a label of what is inside of them. Just different things used for healing remedies and herbs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's the Korean wing for you. So cool. And we'll just come down this way, back down Lantern Lane. Real quick, this is our samurai armor. We have the helmet, mask, chest area, one of the armbands, thigh pieces. Real cool to look at, read about the history of the samurai and the armor itself. It's very cool stuff. But we're going to continue on this way. Back entrance, we got our donation box there. This is our gift shop area. You're more than welcome to look at it after we are done here today. Here's our Akata animal display case. This is probably back in the fall. Richard and I decided to take the Akata animals that were there in our back room and put them on display. You got multiple animals and everything, so it's pretty cool. We kind of layered it in the way typical biography. You got your sea animals, your terrestrial, your aviary, so pretty cool. And walking down this way, we got a lot of vases. These are actually very heavy. I've cleaned inside of these before and trying to move them. It's porcelain, and you can see, these are hand drawn, painted on. Very cool stuff. This is actually reversible as a backside. We do plan to move it around and switch it. It's just heavy, so it's going to take a lot of manpower.
Yeah, you can see a little bit on the backside.
This right here you just viewed right now is the rickshaw. It's basically a taxi in Singapore, but a lot of Asian territories like Korea, China, Japan, everywhere else in the Asian territory, uses them. Quick way to be mobile, move around, going from place to place. Real cool turret attraction thing too. Weapons display case. This is a rotating display case. We do have several weapons from different countries. Primarily, a lot of them do come from Vietnam and the Philippines. We do have a couple of Japanese weapons like the katana that I've been holding this whole time, and the small one. A lot of Indian weapons, our samurai, our shields like the ones we saw in the Philippines, and Japanese castle. And we have our elevator. We're going to go upstairs and take a look at our second floor. Awesome. So here we have the second floor. Right off the bat, we have our Korean turtle ship. This was a ship used by the Korean Royal Navy during the 1400s to about the 1800s. Very unique armor shelling on the front, encased everything from inside to prevent from cannon fire and everything else. You have the cannon holes, rowboats. The dragon up here, his mouth would produce poisonous gas, so it would so it could attract enemies, and something like this would just put fear into the enemies. Admiral Yi, the creator of the turtle ship and commander of the Royal Navy forces during this time in Korea, when he was in charge, never lost a battle when he was commanding the Royal Navy, and he never lost a ship, never lost a man. It was crazy. Very cool stuff. I loved learning about it. Here is our classroom extra exhibit hall area. Here you will have the origami lessons take place. There's our origami display. Very cool stuff. A lot of that stuff has been made by past guests who have left them here for us. People who have made stuff at home and came to drop it off to us. So it's very cool, very unique and intricate. In here we have our hanging wall display. Hanging wall is Japanese. These are clay pottery. Basically, they're epitaphs that will be buried with Japanese royals, and, army men and stuff like that. Basically, what the Egyptians did back in those days with the pharaohs. Like I said, upstairs also we have more of the Japanese shrine temples. There's a large festival that happens every year in Japan that in a certain town are dedicated to the shrines. They're made with paper. So on top it's complete paper, at the bottom complete wood. So it's actually very lightweight too. And you can buy the year's previous temple displays, which are a little bit cheaper than the current year's temple. We have another gate shrine thing, which is pretty cool because that gate right there is actually that one in the painting, which is pretty cool when we discovered that. It was very awesome. Moving on a little bit, we have some more Buddha statues and paintings. Our library, where we have more shrines. These are pretty old. Tons of books, more of Hakata. These are not even half of what we have in our back sessions room. These have all been cataloged and photographed by me. Here we'll pick and choose the folklore books that we use for our folklore readings. And you're more than welcome also to chill out in there and take a book to read real quick while you're here. Some of our Mount Fuji paintings, we have a lot more we're actually going to be expanding on. Rich and I have been talking about this for a while. It's just a matter of moving more things around. But Mount Fuji is beautiful. We even have some watercolors by Chandler, her painting it. Here is our growing Chinese exhibit. This is some of the stuff that we have right now. We'll be getting more stuff, putting more stuff out. This is one of our larger pieces called our Cinnabar. Very cool stuff. The technique, the chemistry that goes into it, it's basically mercury sulfide. Not as harmful as you might think it would be, but it does give it this red texture. And all of them come in different sizes, shapes. We even have Cinnabar bases down backstairs that we'll probably be bringing out in the near future. And what's cool about these panels, Rich and I discovered when we were moving, this used to be downstairs, and we moved it up here. Well, the panels on the back are black, but they have archaic Chinese characters on them. So that's pretty cool, because when you look at Chinese, this is what you picture. The ones on the back, way different. And then we have costumes that you're more than welcome to try on, that your leader take pictures with, brass teapots, and that's pretty much it. And if you'd like to go back downstairs, and of course you're more than welcome to make origami at your leisure.
That's always a favorite with the school tours.
There's an instruction paper, and then we have our own origami instructor, along with a calligraphy instructor, I forgot to mention, who are more than welcome to, and more than happy to help you create different designs and stuff. So let's go back downstairs. Alright, so you just follow me this way. Again, this is the gift shop. You're more than welcome to pick and choose what you'd like. If you want anything, and that pretty much concludes the tour of the museum. If you have any questions for us, you're more than welcome to ask. We do have social media you're more than welcome to follow us on. And we do hope you enjoyed your time. Any questions for us? Alright, well, you have yourself a great day now. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thanks guys.